Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so today we're gonna have two alliance wars. The one that is number 2 against PBT, and then the one that's going on currently, number 3 against Salty. Now I didn't upload war number 2 individually because I didn't have that many fights in it. I only had like 3 fights, I think. I was meant to have 4, but one was kind of like whoever gets there first, and I didn't make it in time. So either way, not enough for a standalone video, but I do have quite cool team of my Titanium Absorbing Man and Nick Fury. And as you can see, going on against PBT, and flat out, PBT is very good team, but we just had this war in the bag, basically. We had like a 3-4 death lead, and it was unlikely that we're gonna mess this up, so it wasn't like super pressured kind of like war either. I'm gonna still boost up, obviously, with the rainbow boost, 30% champion boost, and also a smaller attack and health boost. And this first fight is steady build up Fury against Black Widow Clairvoyant, and I'm going to be using Nick Fury for it. Now, Nick Fury isn't necessarily the best option in a fight like this, but he works very safely because obviously every time you knock the opponent down, you get to purify whatever debuffs you have on yourself. Every time you purify something, you get a Fury that increases your damage output. And then you just basically carry on parry heavy, parry heavy. Now, initially, Black Widow Clairvoyant will be gaining some power here because she's gaining the charges as when I'm triggering her bleed immunity. And her being bleed immune, obviously, is the reason why this fight is significantly longer than it otherwise would be. But Nick Fury actually has his tactical charges paused as well because of the passive Furies, which is kind of neat. Now she has like 19 of her charges there. And we can see that at this point she's not gaining any excess power. I just need to worry about the standard Mystic Dispersion and steadily just making sure that I purify everything off me. I am, controlling this fight extremely well. There was a nice 16k crit there. Takes a minute. Very safe. But, it's all good. Now, the next fight, I actually was slightly worried initially until I did some testing, and then I realized that it's such a perfect matchup. So I'm going to be taking my rank 3 Titania against this Spider-Man Supreme. And as we can know, Spidey Supreme can be relatively annoying to deal with, and this is Hazard Chip node. It's Shock and Bleed. But Absorbing Man Synergy for Titania gives Titania Bleed immunity, which is all you need to be able to take this fight. And then basically just hit him whilst he is in the bleed phase. And other than that, just chill. Just chill and do nothing. What I should have done is I should have probably hit his block initially just to get some Furies active. But because Titania is immune to buffs, he doesn't go invisible, and there's nothing to do there. There I was trying to get in some heavies, didn't quite succeed, but it's all good. So obviously I do need to keep an eye on for one-eyed open, so I do not want to hit him whilst he's stunned. But again, the fight itself is super safe, because you do not need to worry about his invisibility at all to any degree, and then just wait for the bleed phase and start smacking him, block bait a heavy attack, or use your haymaker to just get an opening, drop a nice level 2 here, why not? Await this level 2, again he's in shock phase. Somewhere in the middle of the fight I realized that I can hit him through block as well to reduce the cooldown of my haymakers, and that's kind of sweet. I got an intercept there, very good. Haymaker, and again that Spidey is going down so well, so safely, not much to worry about there. And the next fight is also going to be fairly straightforward. I will be using Absorbing Man for that. And here we have Magneto, and obviously because it's Hazard Shift, Absorbing Man immediately becomes extremely easy to use. I basically just need to, fight as normal. Parry, heavy, do your regular hits. My forms will basically always be paused. And that's it. Don't get hit too much in the face, and we will be fine. So Absorbing Man obviously is very, 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 very good on Hazard Shift lanes. And my rank 4 has been putting in work. Now there, we parry that special attack for no specific reason. We just go for it. Why not? here we go. Our form is refined as well. Now, if I want, I can get in medium, light, medium to trigger regen and also inflict that vulnerability. Passive, another level 1, and the very, very easy win. So this was a very straightforward war. And the next war is against Salty. Now, Salty is very, very strong alliance. Without a doubt, one of the more skilled alliances around, and definitely contender for top 3 as well. Currently in the first spot, which means they have the best attack bonus retention, so to speak. And this war, before I get into it, was very close. Before I was doing my fights, because we had like the right side stay and wait until the boss is cleared, we were at 2 deaths apiece. So 2-2. They were slightly ahead in the exploration. I believe they were in like 140 some, and we had like 130 some fights left. 30 fights done. But we were ahead on time. We did have like 3-4 minutes extra in the time. So basically, as long as nobody dies, only thing that matters is finish your fights as quickly as possible. And we got this. We had like, 15, 20 fights to do. And we know we can clear it. I died twice. Then I died twice. But one of the problems was that I had to use Thing for 2 fights. And one of them was going to be a very long one. It is one of the hazard shift fights on that right side mini boss to open the second section on the right side. And it was like nobody there. And from what we saw, it was like a 3-minute fight. So I started talking about my officers after they said that time is, the deciding factor in the war. And we kind of changed the plan. So I was meant to use Thing for that fight, but since... and I already had joined the war as well, so I had Thing on my team. But since the global node was down, I did, 20, 30 practice duels. Knowing that against Hazard Shift, this fight would even be easier. But just to make sure that I can do this fight well enough, I did use my 4-star rank 3 Absorbing Man to practice against my 6-star rank 4 Nova a lot. I did like 20 duels probably just to make sure, because there is a quite interesting interaction where, because of the Absorbing Man's unblockable special attacks, Nova will go unblockable a lot. But that can be a good thing because that feeds my Mystic Dispersion as well. Yes, my damage is reduced during the special attacks, but rest of my combo damage obviously isn't reduced. And because I'm consistently making Nova go unblockable, and unblockable duration is reduced by a significant degree, means I will be feeding my Mystic Dispersion quite well. And here we can see how it's, meant to work in theory, but I did indeed practice quite a lot this fight. But yeah, just in case you want to know for future, Absorbing Man is very, very good counter to Nova just because of that unblockable thing, because you consistently give him a buff that expires all the time. And so here we can see that if a 4-star rank 3 can take down a 6-star rank 4 relatively easily, then I should be safe. But before I get there, I need to deal with this Galen as well. And this Galen is immune to Fate Seal, obviously. So even with Thing being a tactic attacker, and this is the fight where, had I known that I'm going to use Absorbing Man for that Nova, I would definitely suggest bringing in somebody else that is much quicker and kind of safer as well in a sense. But Thing will be fine. I basically just need to be quite aggressive and make sure that Neutralize is up for as much and long as possible. And if that's the case, obviously Galen will not be gaining any planetary mass. If Neutralize is not up, however, then obviously I could be in trouble and I need to throw my special attacks to make sure that, I reduce his planetary mass, because I do not want him to enter the harvest. And again, I'm also kind of rushing in this fight because of the time factor. So I'm kind of abandoning, the caution to the wind a bit. And I'm just trying to be super aggressive with Thing, making sure that I get my neutralizers on, I have my planetary mass in control, and I'm not paying too much attention to my rock stacks, nothing else really. The most important thing here, without a doubt, is just, getting out of here as quickly as possible, even if that means I'm going to lose some health, which is why I pushed him to level 2 previously. And here we do finish this fight in a relatively reasonable time. For a Thing fight, this is definitely kind of like a quick finish. And now I head up to the Nova fight. So we saw earlier me practicing this fight. Obviously, here is Conflictor, which means I do not even want to try and parry. And the rest of the nodes, well, they're just helpful because if I do not get to hit Nova for like 8 seconds, I get armor broken. Or node's gonna try to armor break me, which is good. And then Hazard Shift will mean that my stances are going to be pretty much paused the entire time. So the entire point of this fight is just basically find an opening and push him past level 1 and bait out level 1s. Hope he throws the level 1s. And then, punish him with a combo and throw my own level 1. So here, do want him to throw a level 1, which he does. Sweet, no problem there. He gains his Energize, which is perfectly fine. Now I throw my level 1 that's unblockable, and we can see that my Mystic Dispersion gets filled back up. I do have Indestructible 3 boost active as well, which is quite sweet. And I am building up my charges. So I can do medium light medium combo to get regen and inflict vulnerability on Nova, which is exactly what I do. And that regen obviously is not too important right now, but we can see that Nova is definitely going down very quickly. And this was like a 49-second fight instead of 3-minute fight. So this definitely saved me some time. And next up, we have another Spidey that I'm going to be taking with Titania. The same idea as before, except this time I know that I can hit his block, or I kind of realized it at the start of the fight. I will make a mess here, unfortunately, a slight one, but we're going to work that one out. So, again, the base idea is either parry him or hit his block initially. Here I accidentally miss a parry, so my Indestructible 3 boost goes to wayside, but that's fine. Now, I baited out a heavy attack. I started hitting him slightly early, but getting that one shock isn't the end of the world, especially considering the fact that I was indestructible for a part of the duration, so I'm not even sure whether I lost any health from that shock or gained. Now I'm awaiting his special one again. I should have been more aggressive in hitting in his block to gain more furies for when I can actually go in aggressively. So I definitely could have done this fight slightly quicker as well. But I do feel, significantly more comfortable in this fight second time around. And here we can see that I'm being more aggressive. So now I did hit him once while he was stunned, and I quickly kind of stopped myself from that. Did take a little bit of damage, not the biggest deal. But I basically just need to get to my level 2 and that we will be fine. I hit his block also. Inflicting debuffs on Spidey reduced the cooldown for my haymakers. Now here, unfortunately, I get caught, but that's, not the biggest deal. Get my haymaker in, drop my level 2. He's at like 16% health. And then I just figured, hey, wait, we need to rush into this. And I'm going to go in even though the shocks will be active. Just to finish him off. I probably could have done this fight, quicker as I did, but now the next fight though, the next fight is going to be quite a special fight because, and here by the way, Kabama robbed me of 25 units. I swear in the previous update, when you get these, or in the initially, they sell them for loyalty or something. But I did not notice that they want to charge me units for this energy, and I just bought it because I'm convinced that before it was loyalty and they switched it up. So I was quite pissed off about this. They stole 25 units from me. I would have just purchased this with 20k loyalty. The bastards. Okay, anyways. But this next fight is in fact going to be something where I just have a massive brain fart. So obviously, this is still a high stressful situation. It's a thing with Absorbing Man, which should be a fairly easy fight. Just keep an eye on rock stacks, and even if he goes unstoppable, he's going to expire quite quickly. It's not the end of the world. And Hazard Shift obviously is going to make me retain my forms significantly quicker. But this is going to be one of those fights where something goes off the plan, you adjust accordingly and make an appropriate decision, but you already feel slightly a bit more uncomfortable, and then you make a very, very stupid decision. And this is one of the stupidest decisions that I have made in Alliance War in a while. There's just no justification for it. And for those of you who are newer to the channel, as a side note, I never claim to be, particularly amazing or skilled at the game, stuff like that. But one of the things that I do like to consider about myself is that, I'm relatively knowledgeable and I can make relatively decent decisions when it matters. And here I just absolutely disappointed myself. Okay, so roll the tape and you guys are going to see how the plan of this fight is very simple. Spam my level 1s, bait out whatever special attacks happen be needed to be baited out, and it's all good. I'm going to even activate a Power Start 1 boost because I have a couple expiring and I don't have much better stuff to do with them. Have the form active, everything's fine. Go in there, kill the thing. Sweet, no problem. So it's a heavy attack, whatever. We just hit him. I'm going to hit him a bit more. I'm going to throw my level 1 here. Why not? He has 11 charges, so I'm going to hit him 4 more times. Bait out level 1. He throws it immediately. Sweet. Everything's going well. We can see that thing's going down with a reasonable speed, without a doubt. Bait out another special. Nice. No problem here. So I have him at 10 charges, full combo. Bait out a special. Go in for light, medium, light. Get the vulnerability on. Bait out special. Straightforward fight that's, moving along nicely. Again, get to the 15 charges. And he catches me here with level 1. Not a problem. Throw a level 1, but I didn't, and I get intercepted. And now I'm pushed to level 2. So here's the first decision. I'm at level 2, and obviously I'm relying on this form for my hazard shift immunities. So I immediately thought, damn, what do I do now? Do I throw my level 2 and quickly try to reactivate the level 1? But then I realized I can just go to level 3 and everything's going to be fine. Right? Yes. Brilliant. Let's just go to level 3. Nothing to be worried about here. Maybe tiny bit added extra fight duration, but let's just build up to level 3. And that is what I'm going to do here. Managing the charges, things taking significant amount of damage. Here I bait out a heavy attack to get thing down to 14 charges. That was Assassin coming in play. Unfortunately, I forgot that I had one Assassin. And here was the stupidest decision ever. We can see that my form is about to expire and thing is at 3 bars of power. My form expires. Obviously, there is a very simple, correct answer here. Let the form expire, bait out a special attack, activate level 3, and you'll be fine. Right? My stupid brain goes, we are on time crunch. Level 3, for all of these champions probably does significant amount of damage. And so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, he's at 12% health. Surely the level 3 will knock him out. Which obviously doesn't. So, given that he was at 2.8 bars of power, this doesn't knock him out. I'm eating level 3 from a ramped up thing. And Absorbing Man has a relatively low health pool. Top of it, level 3 is not coded as physical or energy damage. It's just basically kind of like a direct damage in a sense. And we can see that here I am paying for my stupidity. Paying for my stupidity. I was praying to Jesus. I was praying to Jesus at this point because, as we know, things level 3 and stun you if it has enough charges. So let's take a look at what's happening here. He has his unstoppable and blockable pretty much expiring immediately after that level 3 because of the Absorbing Man's ability as he's dashing in. That level 3 gave me a bar of power, which I am already using at this point. So as the thing is dashing in to clop me up, I throw my level 1 and that kills it. There we go. So this wasn't the fastest. This is one of those things where you try to be mindful of time or something else and that, just distracts you or leads to make a bad decision. And in the end, it takes significantly longer than you otherwise would have, because this fight could have been over in like a minute or minute and 15 seconds. But instead, last 30 seconds of this fight, it was just level 3s being thrown left and right. But luckily, we didn't die. So what of the result of this war? Well, the result of this war, we can take a look at the developments, because the war is technically still ongoing. I will open the game now. Loading up. And the time crunch. 2 deaths apiece. We were still leading on time. And definitely swapping out Thing for Absorbing Man in that Nova fight was super helpful. And then we'll load this up. Go for Alliance Wars. Let's check out the BG stats. Our BG finished basically 1-1, and we are ahead of time, so our BG did everything that we were supposed to do, but we died with like 10 fights left. So we are ahead of time, on time. For, in this case, the time actually would be relatively close still. But what is the most important thing is died. Which sucks, which is definitely unfortunate, and that means that this will be the first L of the season. Very close war, obviously, as always with Salty. They are very, very skilled alliance, and we just basically let go of it ourselves. We died first twice, which was already kind of like, stressful situation. Then they died once, then they died second time as they were catching up on the exploration. So we equaled out on 2-2, and it was the race of time. And unfortunately, we died the third time. So, well, the war is technically not over. Anything can happen, but realistically, this is how I expect the war to end and New Nation to take an L. So that would put our record at 2 wins, 1 loss for the season. Could be worse, but definitely could be better. Either way, very close, very stressful. Very exciting war, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the